there, friends, and welcome back to my channel. It is Amy here, and today we are going to create a scrapbook page, and I'm going to do something a little bit different. I am going to cut my photos in a non-traditional manner or way, and I'm documenting some photos from summer, and I had these dies on my desk, and that's kind of what inspired me. These are the Everyday Arches dies. I did not check before I came online to see if they are in stock right now, but everything I use in this video today I will link in the description box below. The Everyday Arches dies is a great investment. As you can see, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's actually 10 dies in here. I have another one right here that goes right there, and I use these for card making. I've used them for scrapbooking, but I've never used them to actually cut my photos. And if you look at these dies, let me grab maybe this size. Okay, you look at that. So you take this, and then let's take this one, and what does that kind of remind you of? Does it kind of remind you of a popsicle, or I'm probably dating myself now, a fudgicle? I remember my mom always packed our lunch. We always had cold lunch, as it was referred to back in the primitive days, as my kids would say. But it was always a big thing with us going back to school. We always got to pick out a lunch box, and my mom always packed our lunch. We did, if we wanted to, we could buy milk, and I believe milk was 7 cents, a little carton of milk. And on Fridays we got to get an ice cream, and sometimes on Fridays she let us buy pizza and have hot lunch. But this reminds me of a fudgicle or a popsicle, and thought that was a fun story since it is back to school time for everybody, at least in North America, the Northern Hemisphere. So I am documenting some photos from a recent trip my husband and I took. And off camera, I did cut these, but I cut my photos using one of the Everyday Arches dies. So let's see if I can find the one that I used. And I am going to display these on a scrapbook page so that they look like popsicles. So this was the die that I used, and it's kind of fun because you can see, hopefully the camera picks up, you can see those the stitching in these dies. If you've been following me for a while, you know I love dies, and you know that I love when you have the stitching and the details. And that's one thing that Stampin' Up! Is so good about with their selection of dies. Oh my goodness, it's that and their embossing folders are my favorite thing. So anyway, I did cut these 3 photos out before I came on camera, and I did use this die. So what I'm going to do is clear my desk. I'll pull in my glass mat, and we'll get started creating this page. All right, so I've got my glass mat here, and I'm thinking, because these pictures are got a lot of blue in them, that we've got clouds and sky, I got from my stash the Sunrise Sailing. We've got the bundle here. We've got the stamp set. We've got the dies. Actually, that's not the right set. Here is the dies. Sunrise Sailing dies. There's 2 sets. Let me flip this over. So we've got dies with the clouds. I love these clouds. So I thought, well, maybe we'll use some of these clouds in our layout. And then, of course, we've got the hybrid embossing folder. And what's cool about this is you can run this through your die cut and emboss machine. You could put your metal die in here and run it through, so not only will it dry emboss, but it will cut out a boat as well, which is kind of cool. But I really like the clouds because I thought that went well with the pictures. And even the dry embossing folder might be a nice subtle way to add some interest to my page. So I brought that in, and then yesterday I was teaching a class and I created some cards using the ephemera packs. I think it's Time to Celebrate is one of them, and the other one, oh, I forget the names, but these are the ephemera packs. And again, I will list everything in the description box below. But the new ephemera packs that are found in the 2026 annual idea book, what's made these like a little step improvement from the prior year is these are stickers. So they've got an adhesive back so you can peel them off, which is kind of cool. So I was teaching just a really quick class in my customer group, my customer Facebook group, and we just put together some fun cards using those ephemera packs, and then I added some scraps of DSP that I had. So because I had those out, I thought, oh, maybe we'll use some of those, and they have some fun clouds here. And again, these are stickers. So I pulled some of those out, and they have some shells. So the blue and even that fresh freesia, I thought that matched my photos well. And they also have a bike. And so we were actually biking. This was a month ago. My husband and I went down to Rosemary Beach in Florida on that 30A strip. Oh my gosh, it was our first time there. Florida never really did anything for me before, but I saw Rosemary Beach actually on Instagram back in, I think it was January, when the South got all the snow here in Charleston. I think we had like 5 inches. Well, Rosemary Beach, Florida got even more snow farther south, and Rosemary Beach was just a blanket of white, and it was gorgeous. And I just became obsessed with Rosemary Beach, and because I kept clicking on it, I kept getting information about it. So anyway, we went there for our 30th wedding anniversary. And a fun fact, I'm getting off on a tangent, but a fun fact about Rosemary Beach is it was established 30 years ago. And my husband and I went down there to celebrate our 30th wedding anniversary, and it's along the strip called 30A. So how fun was that? But anyway, we were biking, so I thought the bike would be another fun little element to use. So I'm thinking, well, maybe we will be embellishing with all the stickers, the ephemera stickers, and no stamps. So then the next thing I had to do was find some DSP paper, and with the clouds, I had featured the cloud pattern from the DSP called To The Sky. So this is no longer available. This was new to me a year ago when I first came on to Stampin' Up, and I used some of this in a video a couple weeks ago where I was documenting my June favorite photo. But this has a nice travel theme to it. It's got airplanes. It's a great one for masculine photos. I do love the color combination in here. So this is out of stock now, but I do have another 12 by 12 sheet of this pretty cloud, and so I thought this went really well with it. So what I'm thinking is we will use this as the base, and then we'll bring in some white willow cardstock to put on top of it. And because I love this pattern so much, and it's going to be covered majority of it's going to be covered with white willow. We're going to gut out the paper. And I know I've shared this before. Oh, wrong paper trimmer. I got my new paper trimmer. I think I shared in my customer group that my close to my heart paper trimmer, I dropped it one too many times and it broke. So I had to get the Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer. It's the exact same paper trimmer, it's just gray, and I love it. So anyway, to gut your paper out, because I know there are some new people here, I'm going to demonstrate this. So I am looking at the one measurement to the right of the gutter, for lack of a better word, where our blade cuts. And I'm going to take my paper and line it up to that one, and then bring my blade and line that up to the one on this ruler. And I am going to cut all the way down to the 11 down here. And so what I'm doing is cutting in an inch on all four sides. So we're going to line the paper up again with the one, and then bring our blade up. Oops, I moved that up to the one. It's hard to get this so you can see the whole thing on my camera. I want to make sure I line this up perfectly. And this is called gutting your paper. So I've got my blade at the one on my ruler, and I'm going to cut all the way down to the 11. And we're just going to do that on all three sides. And then we are stretching our paper. So that center square that we are essentially cutting out, I can use that for another project. We'll do this last one. I'm going to line it up to the one and then cut down to the 11. And then if you have a few, like you have a few corners that are still stuck, just grab your snips and snip it. And then this whole piece I can use for another project, or if I wanted to use the back. So then this is going to be our base. And then let's take a piece of 12 by 12 willow, and I'm going to cut this. I'm going to start at, well, maybe we'll cut it at 11.5, because I do want to see those clouds, because I love that paper. Stacy Julian recently asked, are you a sky person or a water person? So do you prefer mountains or sand and beach? And that's a hard question for me to answer, because I guess it depends on the season. In the spring and summer, I'm all about the beach, but in the fall and winter, I'm all about the mountains and snow. So I think that's going to be good. So we're going to get a nice border with those clouds. So we'll adhere this piece to this piece. There we go. I moved my camera up, my phone up, so now we can see the whole page. So let me get my adhesive, and what I do is I just add a little bit right along that inside edge. And that's how our top layer will stick. So gutting your paper is a great hack to saving paper, because it would be a waste, in my opinion anyway, to cover up all of that, you know, where no one's going to see it. And I have that square that I can use for so many other things. So if that's a new hack to you, I'm happy I taught you something. So here will be our base. And then I've got some photos here, but I thought it would be fun to add some more of those popsicles, if you will. So if I get my dies out again. So I just so happen to have in my envelope with all my dies, I had another one that was cut to the same size. So this is what I'm thinking. Maybe kind of having them go, you know, kind of on angles. But I think we need another one there. And I pulled out another DSP pack that was popular a year ago, and it was called the Countryside Inn. And I immediately thought of this because it has so many different patterns that have blue. So my layout is going to kind of be almost monochromatic. I believe that this DSP is no longer in stock either. But I liked this one. And so what I did again off camera was I used that die and I cut out of that pattern. So we're using dies to cut photos, and we're using dies to cut cardstock and some DSP. Now with this one, I want to add a little something to it. So this is where I am thinking we're going to use the embossing folder. So I'm going to stick this in here, and I want the boat and some of the water. So, and a little tip to remember, just kind of lining this up to see how I want it. And I think the sailboat goes well because you can see the water in the background of two of these photos. And I'm lining this up so that I can get the boat. I have some of the waves and I have some of the clouds, and there are some like birds in this embossing folder. So a little tip for you is you'll always want to have the Stampin' Up! Logo facing up if you want the image to be embossed. If you want it debossed, then you can send it through like that. So I do have my die cut and emboss machine here. And because this is a 3D embossing folder, we will use just the 1 plate and the 4 plate. So the 4 plate is the gray plate, and you're only using the gray plate when you emboss. I'm using my regular size die cut machine because this is a big embossing folder. It's a 6x6, but you see how easy it is to run that through. And then how fun is that? Hopefully you can see. So we've got some of the birds, we've got the boat, and some of the waves. And so that can be another popsicle. I'm kind of liking this. I just am not sure if I want to do these two together like that and have, I think I like it every other. I think we'll go every other. And then I like that. And then with those arches, that smallest arch, could be the popsicle sticks. So I think maybe we will cut the popsicle sticks with crumb cake cardstock. That's what I'm thinking. All right, so I took that die and I cut my popsicle sticks out of crumb cake. And I think I like having the two non-photo popsicles next to each other. So we're going to do something like this. So this post office is actually like a, I don't think it's historical, but it's a famous landmark in Seaside. This is a really neat like semicircle, and there's all kinds of shops, and this post office is adorable. And we had to take a picture of me by it because I love snail mail. I love getting letters and cards, and I much prefer that over a text, and so we had to take a picture there. And I've always been like that. Growing up, I had multiple pen pals. So I like how that looks. And then let's go ahead and bring in the clouds. And I do have some of the clouds from that collection of the sunrise sailing. But let's start by using, I think I kind of like the stickers because they're colored. They bring in another shade of blue. And they've got some detail. So maybe we'll go like this. And I think I need to move all of this down a little bit when I end up adhering it. Another hack, I don't know, you may already know this, but I like to dry fit all my parts and pieces, my photos, my stickers, my stamp images, all the things. And then lots of times I'll take a picture of it before I adhere it. And then I can print that out and adhere everything the way I placed it in my dry fit, because 9 out of 10 times if I didn't print it out, I forget, and then I don't like it as much and I can't remember how I did it. So I started taking a picture of it and printing it out so I had it to refer to. But I like how that looks. And then we've got the fun stickers that I showed you. So we've got the bike. So I am gonna have to kind of figure out how I want to do that bike. Because I definitely want to use it. I don't know if I like that. Maybe. I'll put it down a little bit, and then I'll have my popsicle stick. Maybe we'll tilt this, and then I could put that, yeah, there, like that. And then I was thinking the shells could go like a bit of this way, and then I could put a little heart here. I kind of like bringing in that shade of purple. I think this one is a little too big. I don't want to overdo it. Yeah, I think I like the small one. And we'll put that there. And then I can use this as a journaling spot. So maybe in my memories and more cards. I could find some lines and we could stick that there. And then we can do our title. And I love the, and people probably get sick of me using it, but I love the mini alphabet die set. So I think I'll get that, and I don't know, what would be a good title? Maybe like summertime, summer days, summer fun. Maybe we'll do summer fun. So let me get that die set, and maybe I'll cut the letters out in a blue, maybe like Secret C. I've been sharing a lot with Secret C, and Secret C has kind of become my new black. So let me get some Secret C paper and those die cuts, and I'm going to get the adhesive sheets too. Okay, pulled out my Memories and More. This is the mixed media florals. And so if you're not familiar with the Memories and More, it is a collection. A lot of the packs come with multiple sticker sheets. And then you've got double-sided 4x6 cards and 3x4 cards. And these are great for pocket scrapbooking. So like with the Stampin' Up! Has a great 6x8 album that you could get divided page protectors in. This is a great way to print some of your photos and slip them into page protectors, and then you can use these as embellishments, and there's areas where you can journal in them. They also are great for making cards. So I did like this card, and each side has a different pattern on it, and some go vertical, some go horizontal. So I like this. I like these lines. I think they're kind of whimsical. I think that the ephemera stickers are whimsical, so that kind of goes with the feel for it. So what I did is I trimmed one of those cards, and I was thinking we could put that in here like this, and I could do some journaling. And then I was just thinking here, I wonder if I should do the big cloud and then the little cloud. I don't know if I'm being too particular here. Maybe go like that. And I can do my journaling there. And then here is that mini alphabet die set, and I love this because you get all of the dies in one, or all of the letters in one swoop, and you've got multiples of some of the more popular letters. So I cut a piece of Secret C cardstock. I think this matches really well. I like going the blue route rather than the black. And then I cut a piece of the adhesive sheets, and I'm going to get my take your pick tool with the piercing tool tip and just peel this off. And I use the adhesive sheets a lot. I try to keep them all the time on my desk so I don't forget, because what we're doing is making our own stickers, and it just makes adhering things so much easier. So there is my adhesive sheet. Now, if you are working with two-tone cardstock or a pattern DSP that has a different pattern on both sides, you want to make sure you put the adhesive sheet on the back side of what you're cutting. For me, it doesn't matter because this is 8.5 by 11 Secret C, so it's the same shade on both sides. And so then we'll put our die on top, and let me pull in my die cut machine and get my plates. So I've got my one plate, and again, what I love about the Stampin' Up! Die and embossing machine is the recipes for the sandwiches are right on that one plate, so you never have to worry about losing it. But to do a die cut, the recipe is right there. You need a 1 plate, a 2 plate, a 3 plate. Put your cardstock down or your paper, your die, and then add another 3 plate. And it goes in super easy. Many of you probably already know that there is a mini machine just like this. It's just mini and it's adorable. I love it. Yes, I own both. Yes, I use both all the time. I get asked all the time, well, which one do you prefer most? They both are great for different purposes. If you're, working on, you're packing up and you're going someplace to craft, the mini one is easier to carry. It's more compact. However, I would recommend if you only could get one, I would start out with the original one because it will work with all the dies and all the embossing folders. A lot of the dies are too big for the mini, and the same with the embossing folders. But I do have both, and I do use both. So just my recommendation. So as you can see, I am just punching out the letters now. I wasn't thinking because I was talking while I was creating. You could, run this through the machine and then run it back so it goes through 2 times. And then probably most of these letters would have popped out. But because we added that sticky back, they don't, they tend to stay in there, for lack of a better word. Now, I like to save this, the negative space too, because this would make a great card front or an embellishment on a scrapbook page, and you can get really creative with it. So you can see here in my envelope, I save a lot of them. I tend to save everything. And if some of them are still stuck in the die, take your pick, the piercing tool works great at popping those out. And I share this tip all the time. I tend to, while we're sitting watching TV, I tend to put adhesive sheets on different colors of cardstock and DSP, and I will just sit there and cut out a bunch of letters while we're watching TV, and then I have them on hand when I need them. So then if we bring our page back in, and I will go ahead and adhere these all, but what I'm thinking is we can spell summer fun. And I do have more letters in my stash. So, because we need 2 M's for summer. So, okay, here's S. So maybe we'll kind of make it whimsical. Looking for my U. There's a U. It goes like that. So we could go S-U M M. We need an E. So I'm kind of spacing these so they're going, around the popsicle. And see, so the center of the R didn't punch out, so you can just punch that out like that. Summer, and then fun. Maybe go F. F, U. And the one thing I wish that this die set had was an exclamation point. I wish it had some punctuation. It does come, oh, it does. It does have one. I'm going to run that through. Gosh, I've been using this forever, and I'm just now realizing that. It's got an exclamation point, it's got some commas, it's got the hashtag, apostrophe, the ampersand, a question mark, parentheses, and then it's got the letters for the other languages. So I'm going to go ahead and run this through and get my exclamation point, and we can add that there. While I'm off camera, I will adhere everything down except for the sticker, so the ephemera pieces, so you can see how easy that is. And then I'll add my journaling, and I think this page will be done. Alrighty, I've got my photos and all my popsicle sticks adhered down. I did my journaling. I added a little star sticker from those ephemera packs, and then I was looking for a sun in these packs, and I didn't see one, and I knew that there was one in the ephemera packs from last year's catalog, so I went through my stash. I found a sun. It is not adhesive back, but I'm going to add some adhesive, and I thought I could stick this kind of so it's peeking out. Like this, just to give that a little bit more color and interest. And I like that. And now we will adhere our title. I cut my exclamation point out. We'll add our clouds and our bike. But what I did do is I did go ahead and take a picture of my layout before I started adhering it, and I printed it out so that I had that to refer to. And this has been really, really helpful to me. So if you haven't done that yet, you might want to give that a try. So you can see here how it's very easy to take the backing off of these ephemera pieces. And I could even add some dimensionals to some of these, but I think because these are so thick, I'm not going to do that. So I like that, and then we'll do the same over here. And if you don't like to use your nails, you could always use take your pick tool. This thing is like a godsend. You can use it for everything. And then stick that. Oh, this is kind of up high. I wonder if I could adhere this with seal. Let's see if I could. Oh, I'm kind of messing this up. Let's see if we can salvage this. We might be able to. I'm going to put that just a little bit lower. Like right there, like that. And then yeah, I like that. Peel this off. I'm not sure if I mentioned it already, but these ephemera packs, the new ephemera packs, are on sale at the time of this filming of this video. There's a in color 2025 through 2027 in color sale through August 31st, 2025 on my website. And it's not just in color things like in color cardstock and markers and ink pads. All of that is on sale, but then everything that has at least one in color in it. And because there are images in these ephemera packs that have the in color, they are on sale. So if you like this type of thing, you might want to hop over and pick some of these up while they are on sale. I mean, that's one thing that's nice about stamps is you can ink them up and use them, and you never have to replace the stamps. Whereas stickers, once you use them, you have to replace them. I feel like it's fun to have both. I even like to include stamping and stickers in a single project. So anyway, just to let you know that. And I like how the bike, that inside piece right there, pops out so you can see the photo behind that. I like that a lot. I'm really excited with the way this is coming out. I wasn't sure when I first started it. I have not cut photos in unique shapes like this in years, decades. I usually always do the typical square or rectangle, and I've done circles here and there, but I've never done it like this in a long time, and I really kind of like it. So this is going to be part of a section of my album. Well, I'm not sure. That's something we can talk about. I'm not sure if I'm going to put these in my, my regular album, or if it's going to be in the travel album, or if it's just going to be an album about our anniversary trip. I don't think I have enough pages to make it a full album doing 12 by 12. I thought about doing a traveler's journal traveler's notebook of this trip, and then I can just have this in our travel album. So I'm not quite sure yet, but I've done a few pages already in my customer group documenting this trip, and I have some more pages that I have it designed in my head from this trip. But how do you set up your albums? Do you just document chronologically, or even if you don't make your pages chronologically, do you put them in the album in chronological order, or do you have theme albums? I would love to know in the comments below how you organize your pages. I used to do everything chronologically, and then when we had children, each child has an album, and then we have the do it together where it's family, and then places we go close to home and far away. So I would love to know what you guys do. And I actually have so many pages that are in page protectors, but they're not in albums. I actually have 2 big boxes here that I need to just take the time and put in albums. And that was supposed to be my summer project. And you can see how far that went. And then even I was going to pay my daughter to do it, but it just never happened. I was just too busy creating pages to take the time. So I would love to know. But that's why I like the D-ring binder albums, because you can rearrange pages. So there's our little explanation point. I can't believe I didn't know about that before. All right, so there is our summer fun. There's my journaling. I am happy with this. I'm thinking, should we add some bling to this? Let me see what I have to add. I've got several different things that we can add for bling. I've got my in color. We've got the cloud cover and the secret sea. These are from close to my heart. I liked them because they had the hearts, but I don't think I want to add peach. I've got these, the white starburst sequence. Those might be kind of fun, or even the purple. And then I've got these that have the cloud cover, and it's even got some yellow Oh, decisions. I'm kind of gravitating towards the purple. Let's see. I don't know, or maybe some white. Oh. Maybe I'll just do a few of the small white. Do some subtle. Do 1, 2, 3. Just a little subtle. I like these because you get the 3 different sizes. Or I guess it's two different sizes, the small and the large. And I like the small, just a little bit of something there. So there you have it. I will list again all of the product that I used in the product description box below. If you like this video, you could give it a thumbs up. That helps my little channel to grow. And I would love to know in the comments if you've cut your pictures in fun shapes and how you set up your albums. Do you do theme albums or chronological? I would love to know. And thanks for stopping by, and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye-bye.